Well, it is Pokemonth. Even though I'm not playing a main series game, the least I could do is review one. Guess I could finally get to Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Dude, we've got an angry mob outside. They saw your Yoshi's New Island review and are pissed that you said most 3DS games are bad. I only saw some of them, but we've got Kid Icarus Uprising fans, Fire Emblem Awakening fans, and Mario Kart 7 fans.
But I love 2 out of 3 of those games. No, I'm not telling you which ones. You'll have to find out in my next review.
That doesn't matter! You have to fix this!
But how? Suppose I could review a 3DS game that I like.
You mean like Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire?
No, something closer to the 3DS's launch.
Pokemon X and Y?
I'm not doing a Pokemon game.
Okay, jeez. That's the last time I give you my opinion.
I've got it. I'm MattCraft.derp, and this is my review of Super Mario 3D Land. So when the 3DS first came out, I held a huge grudge against it. Why should I have to buy a new system when my regular DS is perfectly fine? And just look at that circle pad. What even is that, a knockoff joystick? Yeah, my complaints were pretty insignificant, but that didn't stop me from intentionally looking for things wrong with early 3DS games. I didn't end up getting a 3DS myself until Christmas 2013, a year after I got my Wii U. And honestly, if it wasn't for Animal Crossing New Leaf and Pokemon Y, I probably still wouldn't have a 3DS. My point is, even though there are many bad 3DS games, I missed out on a lot of good ones. This is one of the good ones, Super Mario 3D Land. Being a launch title for the 3DS, they had to make this game good. It had to show off all of the qualities that the 3DS had, but still not be too gimmicky. And it did not disappoint. This game is fantastic. In all of my searches for problems with 3DS games, I never found anything wrong with it. The system beat me with its first memorable game. That's impressive. But let's talk about the game itself instead of my history with it. It opens with a bunch of super leaves flying off a tree, and then... Wait. Super leaves? You mean those things we haven't seen since Mario 3? That's amazing. I love this game already. More on that later. Mario and some toads find out that Peach has been kidnapped once again, and they head off to save her. Simple enough. No need to overcomplicate the story with stork-shaped clouds that never appear again, and unexplained time-traveling Bowser. It's just the simple monster kidnaps princess gig that we all know and love. Don't have to make unnecessary room for plot holes. Yoshi's New Island could learn a thing or two from this game. Anyways, the gameplay begins and we're treated to a lovely mix of level design akin to the 2D games with the controls of the 3D games. It works surprisingly well given how easy it could be to screw up. It's like you're playing Mario Galaxy in the world of New Super Mario Bros. Wii. It's beautiful. Also, the game does a great job of showing how powerful the 3DS is compared to the DS. I compare this to the DS's Super Mario 64 DS, and I think, dang, this game looks really good. And it does! Speaking of Mario 64 DS, you know how in that game you had to hold down the Y button and charge up before you started running? Here, you don't. Because of the circle pad, there's no need to have another button for control stick sensitivity like with the D-pad. Now, I'm not saying that Mario 64 DS's controls were bad. I liked them. They worked, and it never hurt to play like so many people say it did. The D-pad was perfectly fine, but this is better, at least for this game. Regarding the level design, the 2D game it feels most like is Mario 3, which makes sense given that the Super Leaf is back. Woo! And while we're on the subject of the Super Leaf, it works a bit differently than you would remember. See, before it turned you into Raccoon Mario, with only a tail and some raccoon ears. However, here you become Tanuki Mario, which before required a Tanuki suit. Also before, Tanuki Mario could become an invulnerable statue, but here he works more like how Raccoon Mario did. But the statue form is still here, because in later levels, the statue leaf turns you into Tanuki Mario with a red scarf. Again with the scarfs, Nintendo? Which does let you turn into a statue. Another thing, in neither of these forms can you build up a P-meter and fly, because that would be OP in a 3D game. But in the later 3DS game, New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Super Leaf appears once more, turning Mario into Raccoon Mario again, not Tanuki Mario, and it does allow him to fly.
Nintendo, the fuck?
Also, even though I'm probably gonna end up reviewing New Super Mario Bros. 2 sometime in the future, can I just go ahead and say that 3D Land does a way better job of being a spiritual successor to Mario 3 than that game does? Which is kind of sad, to be honest, that a 3D game is a better successor to a 2D game than another 2D game is. So 3D Land drops the idea of every world having its own specific theme. Instead of having all of World 1 be grasslands and all of World 2 be desert, we instead have things like 1-1 and 2-1 be grasslands, 3-1, 5-1, 5-2, and 6-2 be deserts, 3-4 and 6-5 be snow levels, etc. The only levels that are constant throughout each world are the castles or airships at the end of them. In each castle, you will fight a false version of Bowser with a Tanuki tail, in standard Mario 1 fashion, but it's in 3D now, so it's better. Speaking of, the 3D effects in this game look really good. In each airship, you will fight either Boom Boom, returning from Mario 3, or his new female counterpart, Pom Pom. How is Pom Pom different from Boom Boom besides being female? Well, she throws boomerangs. Aw, but I want to throw boomerangs too. Well, you can. The only new power-up in this game is the one and only Boomerang Flower, turning you into Boomerang Mario, reminiscent of the Hammer Suit from Mario 3. Yes, that means the Boomerang Bros from Mario 3 are back too, but they work exactly as they did in the Mario Galaxy games. And, come to think of it, a lot of things in this game work exactly as they did in the Mario Galaxy games. Okay, I'll be honest, the game doesn't do many original things. Most of its assets are taken directly from other games. But that's where the genius comes in. Not everything is taken from the same game. There are some things here that weren't in Mario Galaxy. Instead, they're from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and then some stuff from Super Mario 64 DS. The game doesn't necessarily do its own thing, but it doesn't have to. The assets from other games are blended so well together here that it feels like a new experience. A fun experience. So fun, in fact, that I've 100%ed this game twice. Once the first time I played it, and another for this review. It's odd, because I've never felt the urge to go for 100% in a New Super Mario Bros. Game, but here, I just felt obligated to. And a review of this game is coming sometime next year, but even with the game's sequel, Super Mario 3D World, I didn't feel like I needed to 100% it. This game just seems to have some sort of mysterious power over me. Or it's just that good. So once you get through the 8 worlds, you reach the final castle. This time, it's real Bowser. No Tanuki tail, just him. And it is rather anticlimactic. Well, to be fair, so is Mario 1's. Okay, I'm just messing with you. He takes Peach to his real castle, and after 2 more difficult levels, because believe me, this game is no walk in the park, we get a final showdown, with Bowser. It reminds me a lot of the build-up to his fights in the Mario Galaxy games, and it even has some callbacks to other games as well. Hey look, Bowser's pulling a Donkey Kong. So, after a long chase, Bowser is finally— oh god, purple fireballs! Okay, after an even longer chase, Bowser finally goes down, and it is— Bowser got bonked on the head with a rock. You can never take a Mario game too seriously. So we rescue Peach, the Toads become Tanukis, and— wait, I can fly? Then why couldn't I in the gameplay? Oh, forget it. So we're treated to a nice little credit scene with— Jesus, Bowser's resilient! He got dropped into lava twice and almost immediately got back up. Shows you how much stronger he's become since 2006. And while on the subject of Dry Bowser, after you beat Bowser for real in World 8, 8 more special worlds open up to you. These levels are just more challenging versions of levels you've already played. They can range from having only 30 seconds to complete them, with multiple 10-second clocks scattered around the level, to having a cosmic clone from Mario Galaxy 2 chase you around, except it's always in small form. This is where I run into my only major problem with the game. Many of these special levels are used multiple times based on the same level. For example, S34 and S52 are both based on 7-2. S3.5 and S7.2 are both based on 6.4, etc. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I did notice it during my second playthrough. And there's the catch. I didn't notice it until my second playthrough. I was having so much fun the first time around that I didn't even notice. What is it about this game that just makes it so dang fun? Anyways, at the end of Special World 1, you fight against Dry Bowser, who has kidnapped Luigi. I kind of wish at least in S8 Castle that there was a fight against him akin to the final Bowser fight, but it's still nice that he's here. So after you beat him for the first time, you can play as Luigi. This game uses the same mechanic from Mario Galaxy, where in order to 100% the game, you have to beat every level as both Mario and Luigi. But here, it works better than it did in Galaxy, because 1. You don't have to beat every level 100% with Mario first, 2. You don't have to recollect any star coins that you've already collected, and 3. It doesn't make you start from the beginning as Luigi. After S1 Castle, you can interchange between him and Mario however you wish. So, after you collect all 3 star coins in every level, grab the top of the flagpole on every level, because yes, you have to do that now, beat every level as both Mario and Luigi, and fight against Bowser one last time, you unlock S8 Crown, the hardest level in the game. Beat this as both Mario and Luigi, and you have 5 stars on your save file. You've done it. You've 100%ed Super Mario 3D Land. And was it worth it? Yeah! Heck, I even did it twice. Willingly. I didn't get bored after 2 worlds like with Yoshi's New Island. The game kept me interested the whole way through. It's just pure platforming goodness. If you own a 3DS, this game is a must-have. If you don't own a 3DS and are a fan of Mario games, get a 3DS just for this game. It's that good. And you know what? It's Thanksgiving. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I'm thankful that the 3DS did well for itself. Even if I wanted it to fail at first, if it did, we wouldn't have amazing games like Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire and Kirby Triple Deluxe. And if it wasn't for Mario 3D Land, I think the 3DS might have failed. So, I'm thankful for the 3DS as a whole, especially for this game. I may have doubted you at first, but you really showed me how wrong I was. So, for my next review, I'd like to talk about a 3DS game that is so horrible, so terrible, and a disgrace to the series that it came from, that it was basically the sole reason why I didn't buy a 3DS for so long. I'm MattCraft.derp, and I'll see you guys next time in my review of